there, my balanced momentum babes and gentlemen. Welcome to week 5, day 1 of our Build Balanced Momentum program. Woo, woo! We are in the home stretch. Well, not really. We're about halfway through the program, which I consider the home stretch because you've already made it through month 1, which is an incredible accomplishment. So I'm super excited to get this month started. I'm sure you guys will do great, and I can't wait to see your progress. So today's posture of the day is actually an introduction to inversions. Can you guess what it might be? Well, it is almost like a modification of downward facing dog. It is dolphin pose. So basically downward facing dog on your forearms. So this is really great for opening up the shoulders and even stretching those hamstrings. One thing to be mindful about with dolphin pose is that if you've ever had any type of shoulder injury, this might not be a good pose for you. So just be mindful of how you're feeling. We don't want to feel strain in our shoulders or any muscle in our body at all during any yoga poses. So if you do feel any type of tension or any type of pain, definitely back off and either rest in child's pose or downward facing dog, or just any pose that feels comfortable for you, even just like a forward fold. And yeah, so let's get started. We're going to start out in child's pose today. That is a shocker, I know. So let's big toes together, bring our knees nice and wide, and we will walk it out. Walk it out now. Feel free to rest your frontal lobe on the mat. And sit your sit bones on your heels. And we're just going to welcome today's practice with a few nice, gentle, deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more inhale, and exhale it out. And return yourself to your normal rhythmic breathing. And now let's walk our hands over to the right side of the mat, getting a nice stretch through our left side body. So just walk your hands over, pulling your forehead towards the mat still. Now let's walk it over to the other side. And let's return to center. I forgot to mention that we'll be using a couple blocks to get a little deeper into our upcoming extended puppy pose. So if you need to pause at all to grab those, feel free to go ahead and do so. If not, we are just going to walk our hands out into extended puppy pose. So walk them towards the front of the mat, arms nice and wide, backs of our feet on the mat, hips over knees, and we're just going to sink our chest and our forehead towards the mat. If this is too uncomfortable for you, you can use a block under your forehead as a nice prop. Otherwise, you can just sink your forehead towards the mat. Think about opening up the shoulders, really widening those shoulder blades. And then, if you want to grab your blocks, you can put your forearms on them, and it allows you to get a little deeper into this stretch. It allows you to open up your shoulders a little more, which is what we really want in dolphin pose. So inhale, exhale, sink your head through. We don't want to be straining, remember, so just gently stretching the chest, stretching the shoulders. And release, coming back up, moving our blocks to the side. And we're just gonna step back into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, lift up those knees, and send your sit bones back into downward facing dog. Again, feel free to pedal out those knees if you need to, as always, just to get comfortable in this posture. Widening those shoulder blades, bending those knees if you need to as well. And I want you to think about pushing the mat away from you. So we're going to push the mat, feel as if someone's like pulling your arms almost like they're coming out of their sockets, although obviously we don't want that. But we want to think about like shoulder elevations is what our goal is for this. So think about pushing the shoulders away and then relaxing the shoulders so you're kind of retracting. So we don't really like to do these as much, especially in downward facing dog, but I'm just trying to get you to feel the movement of shoulder elevation. So push the shoulders away, like something's pulling your arms away from you, and then relax them, and then push them. I don't know if you can see the minute difference here. So this is pushing, elevating the shoulders, and then retracting. It's hard to think about it when you're in an inversion. But so like, this would be an elevation, and then a retraction. Or what, a depression you could say. Elevation, retraction. Elevation. It's just to give you like an idea of what it looks like, because we'll be doing these when we enter dolphin pose. So let's come back up into our downward facing dog, if you're not already in there. And then we're gonna spinal roll to plank. So like lead with your upper back and roll to plank. I like to wiggle my back legs out just a bit, and we're gonna drop to forearm plank. So keep that booty nice and low if you can. Push the mat away. So feel about protracting your shoulder blades. So retract, protract. And let's ground through that right foot as we inhale and we lift that back left leg. And then we're gonna crunch it in towards our left elbow. Exhale, inhale, send it back. Exhale, crunch it forward. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, crunch it forward. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, crunch it forward. This time dropping that knee about midway. We're gonna lift up that right leg now and open up your chest. So 10 those right fingertips, open up your chest to the right side and see if you can bring your right arm up overhead. Breathe through the posture, flexing your right toes towards your shin. And release back down. Good. Let's come back up into forearm plank. If you need a little rest, feel free to drop your stomach towards the mat and give your shoulders a nice break before we come into dolphin pose. Just roll around on your mat, get nice and wiggly with it. All right, and we're ready. Let's come back up into our forearm plank and see if we can walk our feet forward. So walk your feet forward, sending your shoulders over your elbows. If you need to bend your legs or your knees, feel free to do so. This is okay as you're building up into dolphin pose. This is actually, to be honest, one of my least favorite poses because I have such tight shoulders and I have a hard time getting them fully extended over the body. So if you need to rest with your knees bent, this is totally okay. Otherwise, you can straighten out those knees just a bit, walk your feet in just a little bit more, and see if you can use your forearms, pressing your forearms into the mat and elevating those shoulders to push the mat away from you, bringing your head in between your arms, and just breathing here through the posture. Your head is hovering over the mat, so you're not resting in on the mat at all. Again, you can put a nice micro bend in your knees if you need to. That might even allow you to open up your shoulders just a bit more, get a little deeper into the posture. Maybe you straighten out those knees. Good. And let's bend those knees, dropping them towards the mat. Extending the legs out behind you, untucking those toes, and dropping your chest, or dropping your stomach towards the mat. We're going to come into Sphinx pose here. So bring your elbows out in front of the body, maybe even out a little wider than your shoulders, a little over your shoulders. We're going to think about pushing the mat away, pressing the back of our feet into the mat, pushing the mat away, engaging our core here, so engaging your abs to protect from dumping into that lumbar spine. Bring our gaze forward, widening the shoulder blades. Just breathe through this posture. And slowly release now towards the mat, bringing your arms out from under you and placing your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to come up into Cobra pose. So again, keep the backs of the feet pressing into the mat. Let your forehead hang onto on the mat and lead through your shoulders, like something's pulling your shoulders up. So lead through the shoulders and then use your arms to push the mat away after using what you can of your shoulders. And then let your head hang heavy while you come up until you reach the top. So inhale, pull the shoulders back till you can't, then engage the arms to help you push and propel yourself up into Cobra, pressing through the backs of the feet, and exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, rise up, leading with the shoulders. Exhale, slowly lower down. Let's do one more. Inhale, rise up. Slowly lower down. Let's bring our arms out into like we're coming back into Sphinx, but we're actually going to lift back up into forearm plank. So untuck those toes. Use it to lift your body off the mat and come into forearm plank again. This time grounding through that left leg as you inhale your right leg up. And then exhale, crunch that knee in towards your right elbow. Inhale it back. Exhale, crunch, 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 crunch. Inhale it back. Exhale, crunch it towards your elbow. Inhale it back. One more. Exhale towards your elbow, this time dropping it about halfway. Inhaling that left foot up, tenting those left fingertips. See if you could open up your chest and bring that left arm up over the body. Breathe here. And release back down. Maybe you kind of come back into like child's pose without dropping that butt to the heels, or maybe even do come back into child's pose. Or if it's comfortable, you can even go into extended puppy pose. So just rest wherever's comfortable for you before we do dolphin pose one more time. Again, simply resting in child's pose if this is too much for you. All right, let's come back up into our forearm plank. Let's walk our feet in. Bring your gaze towards your toes. Slight micro bend in the knees if you need to. Pulling our chest towards our knees. And use our forearms to push the mat away. Elevate the shoulders like you're pushing it away. Maybe you extend those legs. If you're even feeling adventurous, or you feel like torturing yourself, you can even do a couple dolphin push-ups, which is where you pull your chin in towards your fingertips, dropping it towards the mat, and then back. And then pulling your chest through your arms. Exhale, chin towards the mat. Inhale back up. Let's do one more if you're even doing them at all. Exhale, chin towards the mat. Inhale back up. Let's rest here for a moment. 3, 2, 1. Let's drop those knees. Ooh. Send it back into child's pose if you'd like. Resting our shoulders a moment. Let's come back and rest on our stomachs. Ooh. Feel free to wiggle out those shoulders if you need to. We are going to come into a funky cobra, so let's tent those fingertips out wide. Press the bottoms of our, or I should say the tops of our feet into the mat. Let your head hang heavy. Inhale as you pull your shoulders up, pushing the mat away. Coming into funky cobra. And exhale back down. Inhale, rise up. Gaze forward. Exhale, back down. Inhale, rise up. Gaze forward. And exhale, back down. Now extend your right arm out to the side. Keeping those left fingers tented. Lift that left back leg, bend that knee, and drop it over to the right side. Opening up through that side body. Feel that stretch through the right pectoral muscles, that right shoulder, bringing your gaze up overhead. Really actively think about squeezing those glutes, actively engaging this quad. And feeling that stretch. Pushing your left hand into the mat to push open your body. 2 deep breaths. And let's release down. This time, bringing that left arm out wide. Tenting those right fingertips, lifting that right leg up, bending that knee, and dropping it over to the left side body. Opening up your chest, pushing that mat away, engaging that quad of your right leg, engaging your glutes, pushing the mat away, really feeling those those chest muscles opening. Nice chest nice stretch through the shoulders. Oh yeah, baby. This is one of my favorite stretches. And release back down. This time kind of coming on to our backs. So rolling over as gracefully as you want to be. Or you can flop like I did. And we're gonna bring our feet towards our butt. And we're gonna come into a bridge pose. So we're gonna inhale as we push our pelvis up towards the ceiling. I like to clasp my hands underneath the body and then kind of walk my shoulder blades in towards each other, like underneath the body. You can even walk your feet in a little more if you want to. Inhale, push the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not straining your neck. Squeezing the glutes, but not so much that your knees flare. Just so we want to think about squeezing the glutes while also squeezing the knees in towards each other. Exhale, drop down. Inhale right back up. Holding here, breathing through this posture. Maybe you release your hands and bring them up under your hips. Use them to support your hips. Walk your elbows in a little bit. Maybe you extend your legs out. Only if this feels good. Get that nice stretch through those hips. Legs strong and engaged. Then walk your legs back in. And release down to the mat. Releasing your shoulders. Bring your knees in for a nice knee to chest stretch, lifting your tailbone and lower back off the mat. Maybe bringing your chin in to hug your knees. Dropping back down, releasing those legs, grasping the outer edges of your feet, bringing those knees in towards your armpits into happy baby posture. Let's just rock back and forth here. Beautiful. Great end to the practice. I hope you weren't too intimidated by dolphin pose. It is my least favorite posture of all time, but it's so good for your shoulders, and it does feel good. But if you do too much of it, then it can be torturous. So only do what you feel comfortable with. And let's release now into Shavasana. Feeling your legs stilling heavy. Relaxing your shoulders onto the mat. And recentering ourselves to our breath. Allow every inhale to swell through the body, filling yourself up. Swirling around any tension that might be in the muscles. And exhaling it out. Now imagine that breath to swirl towards your shoulders, growing like a light, strong and bright in any areas that feel tension that may be tight from our practice. And on your next exhale, imagine that tightness exhaling out and dropping out of your shoulders into the mat below.